Hello and welcome to The Point of Everything. Today on the show are Richie, Egan and Matty Bolger, 2/3 of TRM, previously known as the Redneck Manifesto, and who also play as Jape. Both acts are very busy right now. They live in Sweden. They're currently back in Ireland for a couple of weeks. Very busy couple of weeks. Firstly, TRM released their 6th album, their 8th release in all. It's called Grushy and it's coming out via Dublin's 10 Spot Records on Friday, September 5th. And they're playing the Button Factory on Saturday, September 6th, wrapping up their first Irish tour in a dozen years. They've gained and lost some members over the last nearly 30 years of being a band and are currently a 3-piece completed by founding member Niall Byrne, but they swell to a much bigger beast live, so that's going to be a great show. The 10-inch record is a thing of beauty, with the liner notes explaining that, quote, "With grateful surprise, TRM found a new creative surge, its pulse different yet from the same wellspring," adding that they serve a grushy of 7 tracks. We'll talk about all of the above in the chat that's coming up. You can buy the album at the redneckmanifesto.bandcamp.com and 10spotrecords.com. It's also available on cassette from both those sites, and after hearing Richie talking about how it was recorded, well, you might just want to order both formats. Be warned. Jape, meanwhile, is playing the Landmark series at the NCH, the National Concert Hall, on Sunday, September 14th, where he will be performing The Monkeys in the Zoo Have More Fun Than Me from 2004 and Ritual from 2008, a Choice Prize winning album. They'll both be performed in full in what sounds like it'll be an amazing night. I loved listening back to those 2 albums in preparation for this conversation, and though you'll hear Richie demur from their influence, I think they're both incredible records and deserve their night in the spotlight. I only wish we could have gone even deeper on them here, but it's a long chat anyway, so we'll get into it. We're listening to Hidden Hands off Grushy right now, and we'll play out at the end with Tonglin, the closing song on the record. Here are Matty and Richie, aka TRM and Jape, on The Point of Everything. I guess we'll start with a bit of nostalgia. We were talking, just laughing about Electric Picnic being on this weekend. I don't know how many bands we'd recognise from there, but did you guys play Witness back? You guys mentioned Witness. Were you guys at Witness? Did
yeah, actually,
we had a great couple of supports that year. We played Kings of Leon and the Mars Volta were on before us.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
A fella came up to me at the gig the other night in Cork and said he saw us at Witness, and I was like, "Oh, what year was that?" And he said 2001. So that's like...
And I was working, there used to be a Tower Records stand there, and I was working in the Tower Records stand and playing the gigs as well.
Were
at
you?
the same time, yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
I mean, we could just do 20
years of gigs
on Witness.
Yeah, on Witness alone.
It's Witnesses before my time. My first festival was Oxygen in 2005.
Yeah.
But like, what was Witness like? I mean, because everybody says Electric Picnic 2004 is like the template for what festivals in Ireland became. What was Witness like? Was it debauchery? Was it like nobody knew what they were doing? Was it loads of mud everywhere?
Oh yeah, it was definitely mud. They hadn't got that under control at all by then. But I think that, like, for me and you, I'm going to say that basically all festivals have melted into one big memory for me.
Yeah, I think maybe so.
You know,
Yeah. I remember at Witness we had our friend John. He moonwalked across the stage. Do you remember that? We were playing a song that sounded vaguely like Michael Jackson, so we thought it would be a good idea for him to do a moonwalk across the stage.
Yeah.
That's what
surprisingly, it didn't fail. It was actually quite funny.
That's my memory of Witness and 2001. And I remember, was it in like a kind of a racetrack or something like that?
Yeah, it was in. Wasn't it in Punchestown?
Punchestown.
Okay,
that's where Aston was.
The backstage rooms were in like a kind of a betting type of an area.
Yeah.
Or a corporate suite sort of shit, looking out over a racetrack.
I'd say it's good times though, isn't it? Like when you're young and like you're doing these festivals and like
time.
you're
robbing beers out of like famous bands' dressing rooms and stuff like that. We were divils for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And just going completely wild.
It's starting to come back to me now.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit
Is
of some
is
memories.
good stuff coming back, or is it like the horror? The horror.
Yeah, met Cillian Murphy. For some reason I can't remember outside of it.
He was just a child then, wasn't he?
He was a child.
He was selling apples outside.
Would he have even been? He would have done Disco Pigs. I don't know. Would he have done anything else?
Probably. I can't remember. Actually, cannot remember.
Might have been around 28 days later or something like that.
Yeah. Probably around then.
I also remember getting food, and there were all these round tables, and you'd go in to get your food, and there were like, famous-esque people sitting around.
We had dinner with Sonic Youth there.
The Sonic Youth,
Ooh.
yeah.
We had a dinner at a big table with Sonic Youth, the same table.
I remember that. And I remember Niall's child, who's now like 25, Matthew, asking me about trucks the whole time at the dinner. He kept. Do you remember that? He was obsessed with trucks.
Yeah.
So good memories, good times.
Yeah.
Back then,
always good memories. We always had great gigs at these kind of electric picnic and stuff like that. We always had great crowds, really, really nice stages, good time slots. The Irish promoters have always looked after us. And we kind of worked really well at on those larger gigs as well. The music just works good to dance to. Yeah.
I saw the Adebisi Shank reformed, did a couple of shows both in the UK and Ireland a couple of weeks ago in August. I feel like they'd be running mates with you guys, would they?
Well, they'd be younger. They'd be younger than us, wouldn't they?
Younger,
yeah, but maybe probably like 8 years younger. So they came up in a little bit of a different scene to us. I think we'd almost moved to Sweden by then, had we? Really?
I think maybe so. Yeah.
Really, yeah.
I moved into Sweden in 2008. So yeah, definitely. So like we know them now and stuff like that. We've known them for a long time. They're great dudes. But we were kind of we were probably the generation before them, slightly blazing the path. I don't know.
I associate you guys with like 2010 kind of that era, maybe around when Friendship came out. That's when I kind of associate.
I mean,
because I wasn't like living in Dublin back then. Maybe I wasn't like super into the music back like in 2004 or 5 sort of a thing. Yeah. So that's when you kind of see your kind of like, I guess that is your coming up, isn't it?
Well, our first gig was 1998, like.
So, yeah.
Wow. So
I was only 17.
Yeah.
But,
holy moly, 98. That's almost 30 years ago.
First rehearsal was 97. Like it's coming up on 30 years. Like it's crazy.
We were all in different bands around Dublin, and we all just kind of liked each other's bands. So then we had a jam, and I think we had a trumpet player in the first jam. Right?
No, we wanted Niall was a singer in a band called Jack Beast, and we really wanted him in the band. So he was. We heard he was interested in playing the trumpet, so we enticed him in that way. And then after the second rehearsal, we were like, put the trumpet aside there, pick up your guitar.
But Jamie was in the band. There was a Jamie.
Farrell,
do you remember Skinny Wolves, that promotion company? They put on a lot of gigs around 2000.
Ariel Pink and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jamie, I think he was in the first rehearsal, and I wasn't in the first rehearsal for the band. Yeah. So,
is it innocent times? Like, I mean, you kind of don't know what you're doing, I'm guessing, like with your first.
But it was just a really nice creative time. Like I remember there were lots of fanzines around Dublin at the time, and there were two distinct scenes. There were like the kind of punk scene from the Old Chinaman pub, which was this kind of like, typical leather jacket, mohawk kind of punk world, and then you had the Hope Collective, who were putting on more sort of progressive stuff like Fugazi and all of those, like Los Crudos, lots of different that type of punk bands. But we sort of straddled both of those worlds because we had friends in both of them, and we would just go to gigs all the time. And all of our other bands, like Matty's band, the Waltons, I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard the Waltons, but they're like legendary. Only the other day one of the, who was saying it the other day? Somebody were at a gig and was like, the Waltons, one of the best bands ever. Like, they were unbelievably good. Seriously, amazingly good, and still hold up to this day. Like, one of my favourite ever live bands in Dublin were the Waltons. So, but they kind of fell apart. The band I was in fell apart. Jape sort of fell apart. So we just kind of ended up, Hilton Weir, Mervin's band. So we just ended up, we were the only kind of, the lifers, if you want, you know. So we stuck at it.
What was your band called, Richie?
You see, this is really a source of great embarrassment for me, because Matty's band was mad cool band, like Niall's band, mad cool band, Mervin's band, real cool emo, and I was in a pop punk band.
You're still cool.
It was, I mean, it was like a kind of a NoFX sort of like Screeching Weasel, like all of that, you know, American pop punk band, which hasn't aged as well as like Captain Beefheart influenced bands and all this.
I still listen to Blink 182.
Yeah, I mean, I still like it, but I mean, doing like bleached hair and doing like fucking scissors kicks in the middle of a gig, like,
white vest as well. Looked like going to see cool. Slim Shady or something at one point. Good songs though.
Well, yeah, we were good, like 2-minute pop songs. You know?
Yeah.
Did you have like bleach blonde hair?
We tried to do it once, but my hair is so dark that when I tried to bleach blonde, it just turned this weird kind of shade of brown, basically. Like,
I've never heard about this before.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about the Waltons. So
yeah, we actually, the crazy thing is here, we're in Monkstown here now. Hugh Holmes and Aidan Holmes, they lived in Salt Hill just around the corner. And I met them when I was like friends of friends when I was in school in Marion College, and it was just really kind of like Sonic Youth mixed with kind of some type of punk band.
And just amazing, like Hugh Holmes and Aidan Holmes, they were brothers, or they still are brothers. But Hugh was an amazing frontman. Actually, you have a picture of Dara from Girl Band there. Hugh would have been a similar sort of frontman in the sense that really intense, like super, not aggressive, but like
insane stage presence.
Just really amazing stage presence.
Yeah.
And
we recorded like a tape and a 7-inch. That was it, and then we just broke up for no reason, really. I don't know. But then some of the guys, they didn't really play music ever again, you know. So like there was a bit of a waste, but it turned out good in the end for me anyway. Yeah, and the lads too.
Is the music online? Can people?
I think there's something called Dylan from Pet Lamb. We met him there 2 days ago. He said there's some online resource. I cannot remember the name.
No,
which is all those old punk records. Somebody transferred them all the old tapes, everything. This huge big archive. I cannot remember the name of, but I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, because I remember, Richie, when we talked 2 years ago, we were talking about Cosmosphere, and I was saying like it's not online, can't find it anywhere, and that's kind of the thing that I think about when you're talking about like the 90s stuff. Like, I don't know, is any of that, you know, what's up online to listen to?
That's the thing. Like, I was doing an interview a while ago, and someone was asking me about, you know, the current scene in Ireland is so healthy and all. There's so many good bands, and there definitely are. It's amazing. But there were also then as well amazing bands that like just kind of, because there was no way to sort of, there was no internet basically, and there was no sort of social network stuff. So just these amazing bands that just kind of put out 1 or 2 7-inches and then just disappeared, but could have been like, I mean, I know, like, we were only talking the other day as well, because Andy, our driver, also drives a drive around Girl Band and does sound for them as well. And we were just talking about how influential Girl Band are as a band. Like, when you look at Fontaines, who are also amazing, I think there's a good bit of Girl Band in them and stuff. But for me, when I saw Waltons, I could see Waltons having that impact if there would have been more of a distribution way for people to see them, you know. So it's like there's always just amazing stuff happening in Ireland, and now I think it's just easier for people to kind of catch the wave.
It was an insane scene because it was all in-person scene, like, basically. So like there was none of this, there's no disconnection, like there was just like you're away from each other but you're connected now, obviously, but we had to be together to be connected in a way, you know. So
you had to go to gigs.
So it was a huge big melting pot of street punk bands and, like, you know, skate punk bands, and then noise bands, and then decal electronic music. It was just, so we know them all, and they're still all knocking around.
And it's the same nowadays, you know. There's so much good stuff now. It's like when you're at that age and you have that confidence and that like drive to get your voice out there, you just you do it, you know. And it's been happening for generations.
And so, like, was the music all in person, like just hearing about like pals putting on a gig, you would go there, or does radio come into it? Because I know you guys are talking to Donald Deneen at the weekend doing an album listening party at Tower Records.
In the early days, radio was not even a part
I was going to ask, like, is he like an important person?
He would be a completely, really important person, but he would
start making
like
music
later
videos, no disco and stuff like that. And
I mean, but even I guess no disco was on at the time, but we were so far away from it. We were just like literally just teenagers, just like going, we're going to start a band. I was sticking up posters down along the canal on an electricity box and stuff. So we wouldn't have even thought those people would ever even think about us. At that stage, like even when my band got a gig with the Hope Collective, I remember jumping around my house with happiness. Like I was so happy we had got a Hope Collective gig. So we were starting from literally nothing, and then over time you sort of realize, it's kind of, maybe it's cool, and people sort of get in touch with you, and then you kind of get into the cultural circle where you kind of run into people like Donal and realize it's kind of part of the fabric of the city or whatever in a different way. But Donal will be huge. Like, I mean, Donal, just like the amount of acts I discovered we all through No Disco is like crazy.
Yeah, different times though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
More innocent.
I don't know.
More ignorant.
I don't know.
More ignorant, maybe. Yeah. I love that. Like you say, your old bands. Other people fall away from playing music or whatever. I guess it's the same with Donal. He's probably seen so many people come and go, but he's still going strong. Like he's still doing like great stuff.
Yeah.
And his backstory stuff he does.
Yeah,
with all of the
DJing, writing.
He's such a passionate guy about it. Like Jesus, it's just like it's
got
born so strongly in him.
Yeah, he's made a short film as well. I saw him do a
With
talk
his son,
all
is it?
together
Is
now.
that right?
Yeah, it's kind of about fathers, and it's soundtracked by Seamus Hyland. I don't know if you know the
Yeah.
accordion player.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Wow, amazing.
He did a great interview at All Together Now. I can't think of the name of the guy that he did it with, who had also made a film about Alzheimer's. But man, it was so good. It's just so great to hear like people passionate about what they're into, like still like pursuing that.
Yeah, but I mean, you become it does come a point when you become a lifer and you realize that it's like not a form of mental illness, but it's a thing that you just can't stop doing. You know what I mean? If your vocation is that strong, you just literally can't stop doing it.
Do you mean, do you guys see?
That's what I mean. Like from our
Yeah.
point, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're fully into the thing, you do it no matter what, and it's the same when you're a 16-year-old as when you're a 40-year-old. It's like if it's your vocation, you just cannot not do it, no matter, regardless of the external circumstances. And I think Donal has that, where his passion is he has to do what he does, and then that's what I think we have to do what we do as well.
Yeah,
like I mean,
you're just creating for creation's sake. Basically, you're creating something inside of you. You're not doing it for any external kind of. You're not trying to be cool. You're not trying to do it for a legacy thing. Trying to keep the band alive. But that's why we play so seldom. It kind of that power kind of overtakes us, that we need to be together. We need to write music together.
Yeah, because
it's actually just it's mostly just to be together and be creative together.
Because when Mervyn left the band, like we didn't really know what was going to happen, so we sort of like took the foot off the gas for 2 or 3 years maybe ish.
Having loads of kids as well, like it just takes you all your time.
But then we just realized we just couldn't not do it, So Niall came over to Malmo, and it was amazing. Like we just sit in a room together, and 2 or 3 days just lashing out tracks. Like when we thought, maybe I always used to think that the Redneck Manifesto was like 4 limbs, Mervyn, myself, Matty and Niall, right? And I didn't really, it took me a while to think that it could be 3 limbs, and then when Mervyn left, we kind of like, well, that's the end of that kind of thing for a while in my head. But then when we got back together, the 3 of us, it was like, this is a whole unit, it's slightly different in some ways, but just as satisfying and just as I think creatively fulfilling as it was.
Yeah, because at the beginning, like in terms of our musical style, because we are instrumental, and like with Richie's band, he was the singer, Niall was the singer, Merv was the singer, I was a guitar player in my band, but it was just like, we're kind of like how we developed music, like how we play our instruments instrumentally, just the instruments, and into songwriting, have developed so much together over time. So he's like, Richie started in a pop punk band, but now he's got this kind of crazy bass sound, which has influences from every form, and influences that we've taken from each other, how we play each other, the spaces that we leave behind for each other to play in, and it's all without words. It's actually quite astounding. We just need a click or like a metronome to be able to write music, because it's so rhythmical. We fit into these slots that are left.
It's really
behind
magical.
Each other.
It actually is properly magical, and I think it was realizing when we stepped away from it for a while that when we started it again, it's just amazing the way the space is filled. It's like it's this conversation between the 3 of us that's happening wordlessly, and it just everything has its correct space. It's amazing,
And it's not abstract in a way. It's not purely rhythmical. It has to have remnants of melody and emotion. Which you find, like it's sometimes ignored in kind of experimental instrumental music. where it's just kind of like, which is beautiful, you know, where it's just pure abstract. But we kind of try and focus things in. We still have that pop music kind of vibe going on. Yeah. So if you can't remember the riff, it's not worth playing.
Yeah.
To us, you know. So it is that little hook, you know.
Yeah.
I guess you guys have had changes over the almost 30 years of your existence. Well, to 6-piece and 4-piece, and now just the three of you.
Live, we're rocking a 6-piece. We've got like Paul Kenny on drums. Tor Rasmussen from Denmark is playing keyboards.
So now
Again, large band again.
But I guess for writing, it's
still the three of us. Three of us and a beat.
We have considered maybe including the lads as well.
Yeah,
which we spoke about, but we haven't done that yet. We do need to be in the same room as well to do it. We tried a bit of the riffs thing, but it's never as fun as that psychic moment where you come up with something and you all just look up at the same time going like, this is the one.
And with the strength of the internet and stuff, connections are so different in Sweden and Germany, for example, that we tried these kind of like musical Skype programs, but they do not work. The latency is so much.
It's just better in the room. It's like even doing an interview, you know, it's just easier. It's just better. You vibe off each other. And I'm guessing it's the same like with the band.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? I mixed the record and I had a great time. Mixed it all to tape, you know, which was really amazing thing. But it was such a pain in the ass because of that, because Niall wasn't here. I was mixing on my own. I send it like someone would go like, "Oh, just turn up the guitar there." Turn up the guitar.
Okay,
go back,
so
bounce down a new thing, send it off again. Oh no, take the fucking thing.
It took a long
time.
So much work into that, and then he
that.
sends over to us. We're like, it's like it's a nightmare.
But like that's the thing. For being in the same room, it's good for that kind of shit as well.
Yeah,
we have to do that in future.
Yeah, big time. Niall has to move over to Malmö.
He has to come and live with us.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried to talk him into it? Have you guys tried to?
He just bought a house down in Sligo, so and he has a house up in Walkinstown, so he's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the kids are kind of starting to move out and stuff like that. We could maybe entice him, but no, he's very happy. He loves Sligo now. Absolutely loves it.
I think Niall likes to have he doesn't. I think he likes his space, his own space as well.
Yeah, we'd wreck his head if he lived over there.
Completely wreck his head.
I'd say that you guys like your own space as well, though.
Yeah.
Because you're both doing creative stuff in Sweden, like separately to each other as well, aren't you? What are you doing?
I run a design studio with my wife, Emily. So we would do all like Jape's record covers, all the Rednecks record covers. We do a lot of work kind of like designing brands and stuff like that as well. And festivals, identities. So we've been running a design studio since we moved over in 2008. So that's where we make our living. So I've been self-employed, creative, and so has my wife. Richie has been since we moved over and before then. But so it is creative work. So we do a lot of record covers as well. Yeah.
And Richie, I mean, like you've been doing all of the different music stuff that we talked about a couple of years ago. But I mean, when you get back in the studio with the guys, does it come easy just like put on the Rednecks hat? Yeah,
it's really nice to be. I love to play bass guitar. You know, it's my favorite instrument to play. So, and to play with Niall and Matty, like we were saying, like they find space, and then I just fit into that third space. Then, so it's really easy to fit into it because it just makes musical sense.
It sounds like this album. Well, first of all. So 3-piece. You're also kind of changing the name, are you? Is it just TRM?
Yeah,
it's TRM. We'd prefer to be called TRM. Yeah, okay. Because the guy who wrote the book, the Redneck Manifesto, is a bit of a weirdo, and we want to kind of keep away from him as far as we can.
Yeah,
and for us, it was just always an abstract name, and now the meaning has been projected onto it in some.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, kind of he's a bit of a weirdo. He's kind of getting a bit Trumpy, isn't he?
He's kind of one of the.
I didn't realize that it was based on a real thing.
We took it from the name because we thought it was a cool name, which I think it is a cool name. But he is kind of one of the prototype kind of alt-right dudes. Then it turned out in the end, so it's a fucking bit of a nightmare.
It's not good.
That's something you don't think about 30 years ago when the internet isn't a thing.
Yeah,
people can actually search this and find out what it is.
And he like blocked us on all social for some reason. So he did definitely found out about the band somehow, but I don't know. We played actually a gig in Birmingham, Alabama in one time, and we were shitting it because the name, like, you know, because like Birmingham, Alabama is basically the deep south.
We got a fight with somebody in Atlanta about it.
But in Birmingham, Alabama was an amazing gig. We had like amazing gig.
It was amazing, yeah.
So we changed it to TRM, it's the name.
Okay. Do you want to talk about someone getting in a fight with you because of the name?
No, I can
giving you aggro during the set.
It's just like being in the South in America. Someone's going to take offense to the word redneck, like obviously. So like that, but it only ever happened once. And we've been in the States a couple of times, but
I mean, it was one of those ones like when you're again, you would have been about 17 when we
17, yeah.
and we just, you're just like, what will we call ourselves? I don't know. Oh, bloody blah.
And it was a really big underground book at the time too. So
yeah, so the Redneck, so it sounded like a good name. We just call it that.
yeah, so
so TRM, new album, Grushy.
Yeah.
We're going to get Niall to change his name to Timmy, so it can be like Richie, Matty, Timmy, Richie and Matty.
I think you do it.
It seems like the few listens I've had in the past day, it seems like more of a mellow record. It seems like a little bit not quieter, but kind of calmer maybe than some of definitely the earlier stuff, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I think what Matthew was saying earlier about emotion is important, So it's like the emotion of a piece is very important to us. And I often think about this. Aggression is a great thing and it's great live, but I also find a lot of great satisfaction from watching non-aggressive stuff. It seems like, and I kind of like, for me, it feels a little bit like transgressive to put a lot of work into doing something that's complicated and not aggressive, because it feels like you have to invest a bit into it, if you know what I mean. Like when you play live, the aggressive stuff always goes down better. The heavier stuff always goes down better than the quieter stuff. But for me, I think it's kind of almost punk to do quieter stuff, because you have to invest in it, if you know what I mean. And especially when you get you get older, it's like your metabolism for all of that sort of shit sort of does die down a bit as well.
It's like we're kind of going for like, we still have that kind of a little bit, it's not aggressive, but it's a little bit darker, this record, because we're taking influences a lot by Black Sabbath and like Planet Caravan, that tune, like, you know what I mean, like we're just kind of going for that direction a little bit
on this album.
On this album,
Sabbath,
we just really influenced by that kind of quiet Black Sabbath stuff.
Oh, okay.
So live,
the bass would be heavily, like there's a Black Sabbath tune called Solitude, and like that would be a big influence on the bass on this one.
Synthesizer sounds are darker. It's a little bit more laid back. We take a little bit of influence from, say, like maybe Fever Ray on some of the beats and stuff like that. So it would be darker than some of our other music, but there is some kind of more up tempo rhythmic stuff on there too.
Were you guys obviously sad about Ozzy's death the other week? Did you guys go into like Sabbath listening mode?
I did listen to, but I mean, he looked like I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did as well, And like I'm not even sure if he was alive at that last concert, to be honest with you. The definite kind of Weekend at Bernie's vibe off him when he came out on the fucking chair, like.
Such a nostalgic vibe though, Black Sabbath. Like I remember being 15 and breaking up with a girlfriend, and then like sitting down in the gap between the piano and the wall, just listening to Black Sabbath, just with the car lights coming through the blinds, you know what I mean? Just like really, they have such a powerful nostalgic buzz to me. They're quiet stuff, they're more restrained stuff, and maybe that was going back to that memory a little bit on this record. I don't know.
But I mean, he had some dodgy views as well, like Sharon too, So like, it's a little bit. But he can't deny. Like I listened to Geezer Butler's autobiography there a while ago, and it's amazing. It's fucking hilarious, and it's great. And they're just cool lads from Birmingham, just four working class lads from Birmingham who just kind of came across, made a new genre of music basically, and
such a strong character that band has. It's amazing.
And a funny bastard.
And he chopped his fingertips off Tony Iommi when he was, his fingertips are gone. 1.5 fingertips are gone on his neck hand, on his right hand. Just before he were going on tour, he was working in some sheet metal factory, and he got his fingertips. Ooh. And he melted plastic onto his tips. So if you look at his photographs of his fingertips, he has these like prosthetic fingertips, which just makes it even more insane.
Was it a fairy washing up liquid?
Supposedly melted on fairy liquid. That's what we totally made of.
Fairies wear boots.
What?
Fairies wear boots.
Fairies
have fingers.
I don't know if you guys ever been like super aggressive in the music, like super.
So the earlier gigs.
We have a song called "Hit Him in the Belly with a Hammer," basically. Okay, so that's pretty aggressive, and the song is mad aggressive. Like, so we'd have like Sweet Pot would have been a little bit more stone or rock that would have been, I suppose. We used to go
not aggressive, more like heavy, I guess.
We used to go ape shit on stage as well when we were playing that kind of stuff.
We were very influenced by a band called Sweep the Leg Johnny from Chicago, and they actually stayed in my house. They were playing in, I think, Whelan's, and this was years ago, 1997 or something, and they played, but from the start of the gig to the end of the gig, they were just going ape shit on stage. The whole lot of them going completely crazy. And we used to say before gigs, me and Matty used to say, don't forget Sweet Bit Like Johnny. So we just go out and just go fucking crazy, basically. And like that was cool, but like you don't play as well when you're going crazy.
No.
Like, do you think about that kind of music when you're heading into the studio yourselves? Like, what should a Redneck Manifesto
No, it just
thing
comes
sound
out.
like?
It
It
just
comes
sort of, yeah.
It really does come out, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't. We'd never consciously do it, but you can kind of see it retrospectively and go, oh yeah.
What you're
that's
listening to at the moment,
Yeah.
like, you know, just you can't help but it comes out in your style. The style
Actually,
changes, guitar style.
cool. Andy A-Tray, the driver, has been playing some amazing Turkish
yeah.
psychedelic music in the van. So I'd say the next Redneck stuff will be
Yeah.
heavily influenced by that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about maybe a couple of songs on the album? Maybe the final song, First Tonglin, which is one of the singles that you've released off it. That's a great guitar line.
Yeah,
there.
that is Black Sabbath kind
Yeah.
of vibe.
Is it really?
That's
Yeah,
my favorite
yeah.
tune on the record.
So it's like a fuzz pedal that's really like the fuzz is up really high, but the volume is down really low. So it sounds like you're listening to like a really heavy guitar in another room, you know, and the sustain. So it's if you pumped it up, it would sound like a Black Sabbath song, basically.
yeah, like some of the tracks as well on the new one, they had this weird medieval thing going on. Like there's some of the bass lines are I'm gonna say this, and it almost Spinal Tap-esque. Some of them is like it's kind of medieval shit going down, and that's coming from the Black Sabbath thing. But I love it. Like I think the bass line on Tonglen when we were coming up with it, I was
So
like
good,
laughing, going, "This is almost like the cheesiest thing you could ever make." But I love it. I think it's amazing.
Is that what you mean by Spinal Tap? Just cheesy bass line?
Yeah, it's
Medieval.
medieval
Yeah.
vibes. Like it's
Yeah.
got a medieval shit
We're not
going
selling
on.
this record here.
No, I would totally. So we should start playing like those, you know, like ye old fairs, like LARPing fucking conventions.
Yeah.
It's a pretty tight album as well. I mean, just looking at the song lengths here, I think Hidden Hands is the longest track, and that's only just over 4 minutes. Is it just kind of like serve the idea? Sort of,
Sometimes-
you have
well,
one idea and just get that one down?
From my point of view, like the album we did before that, the How, I think it's a tiny bit bloated, you know, a tiny bit. And I think that it was very good, like, to focus the tunes on this one and have like Matty's hooks he's playing and Niall's hooks. It's an interesting sound to me. It sounds like really, it's a real, like this one is weird because I don't normally listen to shit we do as much as I do with this one because we mixed it, you know, or I mixed it. And it's like, I think it's fucking brilliant. I know that sounds a bit egotistical, but I really think this is an amazing, like, little 7-track journey to go on, you know. It's really stands up the test of time, you know, which is really a nice thing to think. And because of the fact that I think it's all fillet, you know what I mean? It's all like, there's no bloat on this one. It's all fillet.
Tell me about that track, Hidden Hands. Anything you want to say about that one?
One of my best riffs.
It's unbelievable riff. We were weirdly enough, right? This Hidden Hands riff, right? Mervyn was still in the band at the time, but Mervyn, I don't know if he had to like go to he had to do something where he left the rehearsal room. I don't need to make a phone call or something or whatever. And he left, and I just made a beat on the laptop, just like boo, tish, boo, tish, boo, tish, and we were just jamming away. And then Matty came up with this riff, and we just started laughing our ass off. We were like, "This is the fucking coolest riff we ever heard in our lives."
For some reason, when I write a riff like that, I always think of that music video of George Benson when he's on roller skates, like going down like somewhere in like
yeah,
in LA.
it has a bit of that. It definitely has a bit of that.
You know,
yeah,
like with his guitar, like, you know, just like on roller skates. Yeah.
Does it start with the riff sort of a thing? Does it like, or is it
just usually starts with, so like Matt was saying, like a beat, you know, like a click. And but with this one, all the beats we started with are quite simple, you know, real simple.
Because Merv wasn't around in this one,
so we thought,
like,
you know, there's no point trying to replicate Mervyn and his complicated hi-hat work because we're just not able to do that. In fact, it's really difficult. So we thought we just, for the beat end of things, just keep it mad simple, and then we just have like a metronomic beat, and then after that, then we just sit with it, like almost meditate with it, and just jam around, play, and we feel like someone's getting a thing. Oh, Matty's going there, right? Okay, then we need to do that bit twice. Okay, we keep him there. Then you have that, and then it's like, okay, he has that. Let's move to Niall, or let's move to me, and then just keep going. And then we kind of know, you know, when someone has it, you just look up and go like that, and then it's just this meditative like loop basically, and the loop is kind of forming itself each time. And then usually, and this is what I love from day one of the Rednecks, there's a bit when everybody just kind of looks up at each other and just goes, okay, that's cool, so let's play that. How many
Sometimes
times?
it takes a while to get there because it is written in the room, a lot of it. No, Niall does come in with a lot of riffs.
Yeah, he comes in with riffs,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we just play
yeah,
them. And he has a
yeah.
really strange sense of timing as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah, very odd.
it's always
sense of time,
good to try and work out, and then you'll work out the one on the riff in some weird place that is not the one for him, which is why
It's like this record's kind of like hook. The hook. Whoever's playing the hook is changing from the three of us all the time.
yeah.
You know, where like, you know, Niall was playing a lot of rhythm back in the old days, but now he's doing a lot of lead
Yeah, he
stuff.
is. He has a
And
few
you
guitar.
too, you're doing like
He has a few guitar pedals now.
He has,
I
yeah,
used
yeah.
to never have any like pedals, just
Yeah.
literally a guitar into an amp. But now he has a few pedals.
And live, when we're playing live, where we were like, there's no nostalgia trip. It's not like we're not playing together that would eat us alive if we were just playing all old hits, you know. So we're playing must be like 60% new or 50% new
good bit of new
stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds we're really happy how it's working out with the new dudes in the band as well. But it's good to keep it fresh for us, and I think the audience is also appreciating it, because a lot of them would come to the gig for some type of nostalgic trip, but they go away. You know, we're still a very vital, alive band. You know. And
Just the newbies
with no end, kind of, which is amazing.
Just a
I remember when you talked to me. What year was it? I can't remember.
2018.
Yeah, and I told you, like, I remember, like, I was like, you know, this is a life thing. You know, this is kind of like, I don't understand why bands break up if they enjoy playing music with each other. What are you doing it for in that case, really? But that I would be in this band until I'm 80, and I do feel like that. You know, there's no pressure, external pressure at all.
We keep it so like
Yeah.
we kind of do as little stuff, so we don't like get to the point when we end up hating each other or something like that. You know,
Just
from
take
being
a
on
break,
the road
you know.
for 6 months, we don't do enough. So it's a joy to be together. You know.
Yeah.
I guess we haven't actually mentioned like when this album was made, because 2 years ago, Richie, you said to me that hadn't been doing stuff for a while. I think he played a couple of one-off shows. I think he played Whelan's at the start of this year.
Yeah.
Is it this year that the album was made?
The album, it was
No.
kind of the year before. Like, it was literally, we kind of wrote it in a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
We wrote it in like a few days, and that was when Niall
Hidden
came
Hands was a bit earlier though.
Yeah, we wrote a bit in Dublin, and then Niall came to Malmo for like a weekend, and we wrote it then, and then we just kind of, that was
Like we like in 2019 we toured Japan, and then we came home from Japan and we played Another Love Story. Then Merv left. That was Merv's last gig.
yeah.
And then the pandemic came.
Yeah.
And then just after the end of that, we were still writing during the pandemic. I can't remember.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Probably
I don't think
not,
so. No.
I don't think.
And then we
were.
go with after the pandemic. That's when we started writing this record in bits and bobs. But most of the record was written in Richie's basement.
Yeah.
When Niall
the
came
studio.
over for like, I can't remember, maybe 5 days or something.
It
like
took
that.
ages to mix it then. Like,
Yeah.
From it just.
I'm
took
not
ages.
surprised, dude.
It just took ages, like, cause just. Oh, it just took ages.
So when Rednecks are on a hiatus like that, not playing through the pandemic sort of a thing, are you still playing?
I play with Richie a lot. I play with like what we did during that time. We have a band called Dim Man.
Yeah.
We were doing
We were
then. We were practicing every week in this electronic act called Dim Man.
We have to get that back together. We have loads
There's
of stuff
loads
recorded.
of stuff written for that. Actually,
Yeah, but I have a 2-year-old and an 8-year-old, and Richie has a 3-year-old,
a 9-year-old,
a 9-year-old, and a
12-year-old.
12-year-old. We're like this when you have young kids. It takes a lot of energy, you know. So like it's just like, especially the last 3 years when we have little dudes, it's hard to get the time, you know. And you also, when you're self-employed, you're kind of searching for work and doing work and working crazy hours and stuff, you know. So but I think the space is opening up again now.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, like a lot of times I wouldn't pick up the guitar unless I was in a room with Richie, you know.
That's great.
It's weird.
Might be lost on me, Richie, talking about like the committing it to tape and everything like that. Do you want to talk about it for a little bit?
Yeah, well, just like, I mean, I was always wanted to get a tape machine, you know, that was good, and I bought a load of tape machines, and they were always kind of grand. But then I got this one tape machine. It's called a Revox PR99, and it's just a tape machine of my dreams that I've always wanted. And the Rednecks, I just wanted to make sure that I went down to tape, you know, so all of the tracks, like you wouldn't do.
It's
a reel to reel, yeah. It's like, and you wouldn't do every single track to tape, you know, but you could do, like, you know, say for example the drum bus to tape or the guitars to tape in certain parts, and then mix it to tape, you know, because there is a kind of this non-linearity distortion stuff that happens with actual tape that I don't think plugins have got yet, you know. And they are great plugins nowadays. Jesus, like I use them all the time, and I even use tape simulator plugins all the time. But the actual brand new, and the funny thing is, the tape I was using, the name of the tape is RTM. So it's not TRM or TM tape. And I wanted to make sure that I went down onto that tape machine. And that was another reason that because the tape machine broke down, and then I had to get it fixed and all this kind of shit. Like, so, but it was important to me, and I love the idea of having the record. Like, that record exists on a big reel-to-reel tape that's sitting in my studio.
That's like the ultimate way to listen to the album. Is it?
Yeah, well, I mean,
copy.
we were talking about hard drives failures and stuff earlier on. You know, magnetic tape is a better storage medium than, that's what Steve Albini used to do all the time. All the albums stored on tape. Like, I actually think Friendship might exist on
it
tape.
Is on tape, and yeah,
somewhere.
it is. Yeah. I think you when I like looking at it from the out, not from the, but kind of from the inside, you kind of use it as a kind of a committal thing, because when you have digital, when you're working in digital realm, it's infinite. There is no end. But once you kind of spend it and put it physically onto tape, you're kind of going, okay, that part is finished. Yeah. The processing of that part is finished, and then this song is finished. It's on tape. It's a bummer to try and totally. Redo it. So it's like you kind of use it as a full stop.
Yeah,
as well.
big time. Because when you're working, that's a good point actually. Because when you're working on your own in a studio, you literally have unlimited options all the time. And like with nowadays, you can have like some of the fucking tracks have like 120. Yeah. Like, you know, Matchbox Shaker. You know, all this shit. And tape. Yeah, it's good points. When you put it to tape, then it's kind of like you've made the decision, you know, and it helps you to move on. And
I think everybody in the band understands that as well. You kind of go, okay, it's on tape now. Like, just like, you know, you probably force one more out of them, but like that's enough, you know.
Or at least 20 more.
I saw you releasing the album on cassette as well, doing a run of 60. Is that like, is that another thing they've gotten into?
Now listen, right, so this is this record is recorded. The thing with this record, it's amazing as well. It's gone from the very first moment. Like, I spent so much time getting the sound correct on the tape, right? Matthew and Emily made, like, the artwork is actually physically made metal objects, right? That's like properly beautiful. They exist in the real world. No,
it's a photograph.
It's a photograph. Then we come on to Deck, right? So Deck Hines, who's running the label that is out on 10 Spot. He goes, oh man, he's so obsessed with like using the exact correct everything. So this album is a 4-stage process just to produce it. Like, it goes, the gloss you see there is paper. Then the card is separate to the paper. The gloss is printed onto the card. Then there's a separate card in the inlay there, and then it goes to a bookbinders, and the bookbinder like makes up the actual the finished product. You know, finishes it off. So like, and then the cassette as well. He like. It's the idea. The one thing that's amazing with Deck and 10 Spot Records is it's so rare these days. It's like we were saying about lifers and being like, you know, his thing is creating. He's a mad jazz fan and is creating the best possible packaging and home for the music that he can. So like, I think it looks amazing. And the Cayman Gilmore one he's just done, and the first 10-inch he did is one of my favorites. Is Sean Carpio's 10-inch. Did you get a blast of that?
It's amazing.
Amazing. So yeah, like, that's important to us as well, you know, to make sure that if you're going to do something, do it right, you know.
And the mastering and everything like that was all crazy.
Yeah,
like,
the mastering was done by a guy who like mastered Paul McCartney and Madonna and stuff, and it was his last ever.
Like a Virgin and everything.
If you Google this guy, Barry Gazagint or something is his name, and he just done all sorts of shit, and he mastered it to vinyl, you know, as it was going down. So the whole process is really complicated and really amazing, and the record sounds amazing.
Yeah, the record itself looks great. Not that this is an advert. Well, I guess it kind of is. Yeah, no, but when you listen, it actually looks unreal.
When you listen to the 12, when you listen to the 10-inch, like, the grooves are so deep. You can only put a certain amount of time on a 10-inch. That's why it's kind of shorter.
Oh, okay.
In order to get the fidelity of the sound. Like, there's a whole load of kind of like...
The more minutes you try and get onto a vinyl, it decreases the quality of the vinyl, basically.
So,
yeah. So it's like, it's a real geek fest. But also, the main thing is not about the music, it's how much it physically weighs at the end of it. That's basically how you know how good the record is.
That's the thing. When you gave it to me, I was like, wow, that's a heavy record.
The 10-inch is weighs way heavier than a 12-inch. Like,
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Deck's a dude.
Happy with the album? So, I mean, like, just glad to get another... TRM album.
Yeah. I'm so glad to play it as well. We had 3 great gigs in Galway, in Cork, and Limerick.
And this one feels a little bit like a bit of a gate opener to future music, because there were questions whether or not we would actually do anything after Mervyn left amongst ourselves, whether we could. But this one feels like we got it over the line. It was kind of a lot of grunting and work, but we got over the line, and now we have a blueprint to do shit more in the future, which won't be as kind
in
of,
this setup, yeah.
you know, it won't be as kind of much donkey work, because all the emotional questions are answered basically. So we can now go ahead and just, we know how to kind of make shit again, if you know what I mean.
And there's a kind of a feeling in the band of kind of betraying Merv in a way.
Yeah, like
Mer,
I was really sad when Mervyn left, like, because we had so many experiences together, and he's just such an amazing drummer. It felt for a while that I didn't think we'd be able to go ahead, but
Paul is our new drummer.
Live drummer Paul
insane.
Kenny's insanely good.
Insane.
And they're actually friends, him and Mervyn. And by the way, Mervyn gave us, like, there was never any kind of like bad blood or anything like that. Mervyn was so happy. He said to us after he left, he said, I really want to go to see a Redneck Manifesto gig at some point, which he did. And like, so it's just, he just didn't feel like doing the music anymore. And it's kind of, we just had so many beautiful times together, and Mervyn shaped our whole lives in so many ways, you know. And
but the live band now is just absolutely insanely good. Like it sounds so good. I don't like a lot of people are saying they haven't sounded better.
We got a really good,
and I'm feeling it so much. Like it's really, really, really good. Like, so yeah.
And Neil and Glenn as well. Like, they left too, and that was a bit of a weird vibe. But the thing about it, it feels like with Neil and Glenn, they were always kind of their own thing, you know, as well. So they're like kind of, they could kind of leave in a different way. It wasn't as kind of like integral that they left, because they were amazing musicians, and Neil put a lot into friendship and everything like that. But I always thought the Rednecks was, as I said, that 4-limbed creature, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So you guys are playing on Saturday. Looking forward to that show. Jape, Richie, you're so busy at the moment. You've got a nice stint over in Ireland. I guess it's kind of nice just to be over in Ireland for.
Yeah.
And you too, Matty. Like,
yeah.
It's nice to come back. For sure. Yeah, it's nice to be back.
It's hard.
It's nice to be busy. It's nice to be busy, you know.
Yeah.
And it has been super busy, and it is going to be busy for the next couple of weeks.
So the week after Rednecks play in Dublin, you're going to be at the NCH playing 2 albums in full. Yeah. The Monkeys in the Zoo have more fun.
And Ritual, doing the 2 albums.
Why those 2 albums?
Well, it was called Landmarks. I mean, I wouldn't say Jape now would be hugely influential on the Landmarks side, the scene of
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Mr. Humble. Well, he's on a mural in Crumlin Village on Deckwell's Hardware, like with Phil Lynott and all. So I think it's pretty influential.
There were definitely landmarks in my life. Put it that way, you know what I mean. So it was and because when they asked me to do the gig, I think they kind of meant, you know, one record, but I feel like those 2 albums are both different in a way to me, and they were both sort of landmarky for me in different ways. So I thought it might be cool to try to do both of them, just making shit hard for myself as usual, because they're so different, you know. Like Monkeys in the Zoo is a quite introspective record, and Ritual is more sort of outward looking. So I just thought it was an interesting thing to compare the 2 and do the 2 live again. And I listened to them again after literally decades, and I wouldn't have done the gig if I didn't listen to them. And I did think it still stands up to a good extent. You know, they're not all zingers, but there's definitely good stuff in there that I think still feels true to me even after all these years. And it's really interesting to listen back to a young man making those records, and also like looking at the art that Matty and Emily made and all the videos from back in the day. The video I Was a Man is hilarious. We went out to British Bay with a big effigy, and yeah, you know, I was one of them ones. I always said I would never look back at shit, you know, but I think you can do it maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's important though. It's like, I'm so about like new music and stuff, but I love talking about the nostalgia. I mean, I guess that's something that just happens when you're getting older. Like in my day.
Well, you know, you have to make sure. This is why it's cool, you know, because like the Redneck stuff there, like we're talking about that's fresh meat, you know, that's fresh shit to us. Like, and so I think if you're gonna start looking back on shit, which I'm gonna do now with this NCH gig, you got to be fucking doing shit as well. You know, now
you can't just be resting on your laurels.
No way. Then it's kind of, it becomes almost like a financial thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you allow yourself to do it. You know, if you feel that you can look yourself in the mirror and go, I'm not just that guy now. You know. Anymore.
That's what I don't like about, say, the Oasis stuff. Not to badmouth Oasis, everybody's having a great time at the gigs and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But it's 2 albums, and that's all I want to hear.
Yeah.
And maybe the
Yeah.
master plan.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any other
Yeah,
Oasis
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
because it's all terrible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, big
Just
time.
give me those 2 albums.
Yeah.
But so sticking with Monkeys in the Zoo, Have More Fun Than Me. 2004 it came out. I mean, back then was Jape seen? Maybe I'll ask you, Matty.
Yeah.
Was Jape a side project kind of a thing to the Redneck Manifesto?
Yeah, but it build up a lot of speed very, very quickly.
Yeah. Did you see it as like, oh, that's Richie's thing?
Yeah, I was just happy to play a different form of music with Richie, like, because we're best mates, like,
So you were in the band like from
very
from
beginning.
yeah.
From the very beginning. It was like acoustic guitars, like, basically. I was always observing from the outside, obviously, and respected so
But
much.
I always think of Matthew and Emily as members of Jape as
yeah.
the art, because
you've known them so
literally
long.
all the artwork from all
like
the-
Monkeys in the Zoo, we built like
That's-
big text. We went into a
okay,
lemur
but
cage
That's wooden
in
text.
Dublin Zoo, and like, so if you're looking at that record cover, like Emily shot it on a Hasselblad camera, basically, like changing the film, and it was a photograph of her with a lemur on her head changing film. But and just people looking at us, like, so we were the monkeys in the cage for that
But
day.
the funny thing is that we wanted to do chimpanzees, and they said, "Oh, that they'll fucking rip your face off."
And we're
can't
like,
go
lemurs
into
are
the-
still simian, right? And like, so they can't be referenced to as monkeys.
I
But
think they're cats. I think they're cat. I think lemurs are actually cats.
are they?
I think
Oh
they
my
might
God.
be. Yeah.
No, but we had like fists full of maggots and berries in our hands, so we could feed them and put them where we wanted them to go. So we had it's any of those, the processes was all really kind of hands on for the making of the artwork. And so yeah, being involved with Jape, like, it's been amazing over the last couple of decades. Like, it's like.
You talked, Richie, again, that interview, people can listen back to it on the TPOE podcast. Just search for Jape. You talked about making Cosmosphere. You went to Wicklow just yourself for like a weekend or something and banged out that album. Was this made at the same time?
Oh, this was an amazing experience making this album, because our mate Jimmy Eady, he had just opened a studio called Asylum Studios in Sackville Street, just off O'Connell Street there. And we just went in and we had it for 4 or 5 days, and it was just like Kitzer always says it was like making like the 36 Chambers, the Wu-Tang album, because it was literally just like people coming in, whoever's around, come on into town, come on in and play on the record. So Good Time John plays drums on some of the stuff, Matty's rocking the guitar on everything, Kitzer come in, Neil, Glenn. It was just amazing. Like, anyone started, are you in town? Do you want to come in and do a few keyboards and something? And then there was a dance studio as well just beside the recording studio, which had very nice acoustics. So there's a couple of tunes that were taken like mad late, like 3 o'clock in the morning, just like the hardest thing to do. I remember doing that, me and Kitzer, middle of the night, just like making that in that room. And there's, if you listen really closely, there's like, you can hear weird people walking around and shit and stuff on it. So yeah, it was cool. It was great. Recorded in I think 4 or 5 days, and then Jimmy did a great job mixing it then in there as well.
David Kidd is another lifer, isn't he?
Yeah, big time. And he's not able to do this gig in the NCH because of the Sounds from Safe Harbour thing, because he's
down in,
he's like he's got a residency thing down there. So and that sucks.
You played with him earlier this year, didn't you? We saw
Yeah,
you playing.
Yeah, we played with him, and you've done a little tour there.
We did a tour with him, yeah, and I did the New Jackson gig with him as well. Then that was in the Button Factory.
Because we were both in Kitzer's band as well. Like, so we always
fast.
we come as a pair.
Little and large. Mitchie and Ratty.
Floating opens up the album. I was listening to your interview on Arena. You said that like I didn't play that live for a while, which was a mistake. Is it just the fact that like this song becomes, I guess, your defining?
Yeah, it's
kind
just
of a
no. It's
song?
more
It's
the
one
fact
everybody expects.
It's what I was saying about, like, you know, you kind of want to be moving forward as an artist, and if you're playing the hit, you come. But I think there's a space for both. I think I was just, you know, you kind of think you're right about everything, you know. So I fought against it because it's the only song people know of Jape. So I was like, maybe I can try to get another one song that people will know. And there's a few, like, the live set has a few bangers in it.
I think you didn't want to sell out to yourself, basically.
Yeah, it's
you wanted
a whole lot of
once you start,
weird
like, it's very hard to put the lid back on when you start becoming an unauthentic kind of
yeah
person. It
I
means
know.
so much to you that, like, if it felt bad and you didn't want to play it, you done made the right choice, basically.
Yeah,
I
at
think.
the time, I know,
Yeah,
you're kind of
yeah,
working
yeah,
through shit in your head. You know,
yeah.
that's the thing about, like, being a musician and having any sort of success is, like, you kind of, like, if it doesn't really satisfy you in a way that you want it to, then you can't accept the success, and you have to fight against it, because otherwise you'll just go be really depressed. Like I remember with Ritual, like Ritual is me trying to make a record that would be kind of popular, and I remember being so depressed around that time, like so sad, because I was trying to do a thing that, like, you know, was pushing myself to do a thing that didn't feel precisely like I was trying to find answers, and then those answers you find a way then to kind of impersonate a person who is able to be successful. So you basically you're writing stuff that you know is going to do well, right? But you're not exactly feeling it 100%, you know. And then when it starts doing well, then and you start getting these plaudits, you don't accept those plaudits because you don't feel like it's actually you that has done the thing, you know.
That's really heavy though to like grapple with, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's every band though.
It's every band.
It's sports people as well. Like, you know, they talk about like getting, whether it's individual or a team, it's like you win the thing and then the next day you're like, oh, I thought that I would feel more fulfilled.
100%.
Yeah,
that's a real thing. That's something that I kind of been thinking about for decades, you know. It's a really interesting avenue to go down, because it goes down to the idea of like, what is success, you know. And like, then you start seeing, you know, then you start going the other way. You see these people who are, you know, deluded, you know, and then they
think they're amazing.
They think they're amazing, and then like, I don't know, it's a whole other rabbit hole. It's like a kind of it's a mad one, yeah. It's a mad world to get into.
Being at peace is realizing that you'll never be fulfilled.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you know,
big time.
Yeah.
Like finding like true satisfaction and joy doesn't come from worldly plaudits.
I mean, you did get plaudits. I mean, Ritual won the Choice Prize, one of the early Choice Prizes. What's your relationship with that album? I was listening to it yesterday. I was like, man, this album is so great.
There's some good tunes on it,
and you've got more anthems on it as well, like Phil Lynott. I feel like many people I know that would go to Rich. Like I saw you at Whelan's.
Yeah.
People sang along to that song. I think it was the last song, maybe or something.
Yeah, yeah, big time. You know, it's a good album. Like, it's good because I listened to it there, and there was some good bits on it. You know, some good bits on it.
So you came at the album, thinking of it more from a different aspect to.
Well, we'd be in London a lot at that time, right? And we'd be kind of going to these A&R meetings and shit.
Oh,
you know?
Right, because of floating.
Yeah, true. Well, after floating, and it was just a crazy time, you know.
Last kind of money in the music industry.
A little bit of dough.
Signing a contract in the middle of this massive office in London, and people shooting off champagne over the balconies and all this kind of stuff. Like,
kind of
like
the usual.
And then we go out, and the next band comes in, gets the same thing. Like, yeah.
But it stands up, you know, because it is a thing. Like, it's a young man trying to find answers through songs. That's basically what it is. And like, there's some bits in that are still pretty good.
Very good.
That's the best I'll get out of you. It's pretty good. It's a landmark album.
Yeah,
it is actually. Yeah.
Legends in his own. Lunchtime.
Are you looking forward to the gig? Do you want?
The gig's going to be great. Yeah, because we got a great band together. Paul Kenny on drums, Glenn Keating on bass and synth, Matthew on guitar, Dec Hines on keyboards, Vanessa Francis is going to sing and play a bit of guitar, and Gareth Averill then is going to do some atmospheric, beautiful stuff as well.
It's a big band.
So it's a good old band, and we're going to do it off, like a lot of the Ritual stuff would have been done to a little bit of a track, you know, samples kind of vibe. We're going to do it all off click basically, and just try to reinterpret Ritual, but using the samples and stuff. So it's an interesting process.
Cool. Sounds amazing. Best luck with that. Thanks for the chats today, both nostalgic and current and future as well. Always love chatting to you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for having us.
Yeah, thanks.